Right, hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. Pleased you're back. Obviously, I say this every week, but where does the weeks go? Like, how do they just take off and just, obviously we get back to a Wednesday. So this week is called Hamster Wheel. Breaking the Hamster Wheel, I've got Grant Ross with me on anxiety, purpose and reclaiming control. Bit of an intro. Obviously, today's episode is for anybody who feels like they're doing anything they shouldn't be doing, but feels empty, anxious and trapped. My guest, Grant Ross, is on paper. Grant was winning, solid career in finance, ticking all the boxes, but behind the scenes, he's stuck. And that's why we both call it the hamster wheel. You get stuck on it and you can't get off. Anxiety, pressure got to him, right? Alcohol is a coping mechanism and a constant feeling, is this it? In this episode, we're talking honestly, what about happens to men when they get stuck? Why don't we speak up, even when we know we should? Because that's a real big thing. Why don't we speak up when we really should? And how real change doesn't come from blowing up your life. It comes from small and uncomfortable steps forward. It's the little things that progress you to the big parts. Hi, Grant. How are you doing? Welcome. Pleased to have you.
I'm good, Stephen.
Man.
After quite a few technical issues this morning,
Yeah.
I'm glad that we've managed to connect and get everything working. So I'm fantastic. Thank you.
Good. That's all that matters. We know we have these technical issues. I've said this before. We spent weeks and weeks and weeks with, before I had Andrew on, which obviously went out this week. That was just nuts. It was a fucking nightmare from start to finish. But we get through it. We're going to have technical issues. It's just the modern day. Everybody has tech and probably can go, yeah, I'm fucking sick of that shit. But it is what it is. We get through it. Grant, let's start off at the beginning. You built your career in finance. What drew you to the world of that in the first place?
Probably the money. First of all, to be quite frank, but when I never went to uni. Well, I did go to university, but I wasn't very good at it.
Yeah.
Not because I wasn't capable, I just wasn't into the traditional learning scenarios, and I had a lot of jobs, sacked from probably every single one of them, and I watched people who were like me in financial services and earning good money, and I wanted a bit of that. And again, finance makes the world go round, and I thought I'd be quite good at that. I'm really interested in it. It was something that really tweaked my interest, and it was my ex-partner who worked in large bank and got a new job through in Edinburgh, and I went, can you get me a job? And yeah, lo and behold, got a job, started at the bottom and just worked my way up. And it was just really interesting. Like, I've got a really inquisitive mindset. So financial services and how things worked and how all, this money that is just everywhere. I was on a train back from London. I was going to Gatwick Airport and I was looking out the window and I was just thinking, there is money everywhere. There's so much of it. And I thought, I just wanted not to be a part of that, not, because that's something that I really want. Like, money doesn't really drive me. I just want a comfortable life. But I was really interested in how the money circled around the world. And that's why I wanted to get into finance as opposed to the money, obviously.
The inquisitive part of how it all comes together rather than just going, yeah, I'll take it for the big sum of money at the end of the day.
Exactly. And I worked for an investment banker, the largest in the world.
Okay.
And I'm sure if you know anything about investment banking, you know who that is. But just the way that money isn't just, pounds and dollars. They've got all these vehicles that they just create out of nothing to suit a narrative.
Yeah.
And, like derivative instruments. I won't get too deep into it, but, they've got these contracts between two people who decide that they want to swap currencies. You've got Toyota in Japan who has a local yen and that's what they're dealing in, but actually they want to go and open something in the US. So what they do to get good value on that dollar is to partner with, say, General Motors, who also want to go into Japan and need yen. And they say, I'll swap you that currency for a period of time and here's the contract. And it doesn't have to work on what the traditional FX is that day. It's just, we'll agree a price between the two of us over a period of time and we'll just exchange that money. It's insane. And they just create money out of nothing. And I was just interested in how that works. I don't think, I don't think financial services is evil. I just think you need to know what you're working with in order to play the game. And I was just interested in how that worked.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing when you say that, because obviously I worked for Toyota for years, and like I know they went to America and they're big in America and they've done loads of things, but I didn't realise that that's how that sort of worked. They draw up a contract with each other and swap money like that. That's
Yeah.
mental to think that that's how the world goes round. It's like, not that you want to just open a bank account in another country and go, right, we're going to move a load of that, put an office over there, because I know the infrastructure they've got over there. They've got a manufacturing plant now. They have one of the biggest headquarters over there as well. They have all these other things out there, and you think, oh, you've built that from scratch, and gone, no, actually, you just want to swap money in either direction, but we're going to be able to give you the money here to do what you want. That's insane.
Exactly. It's cross-currency swaps, as they call them. And it's just
Yeah,
a contract drawn up between two parties with an intermediary who holds the money, who's, that guarantor, and they just, I will pay you this on X date. And that's what it is. And there's so much more than that as well. Like even insurance, which is where I worked, you've got Lloyd's of London, who are a massive insurance broker in London, and
yeah,
they still sit across the table in an office in London and broke out deals with people. Um, it's nuts. It's fascinating though, because as you say, that's what makes the world go round, is money.
yeah,
I don't demonize it at all. And I know that, I'm fortunate to never be um, on the receiving end of needing it.
yeah.
But it's fascinating to know, and that's what I really got into. I fell in love with it, which love kind of wanes towards the end, which I'm sure we'll get into. But
Yeah. Well, this is where I'll go to the next part. When did you first realise you were stuck in the hamster wheel, working hard, doing well, but not actually like fulfilled? When did you realise that you weren't fulfilled in it?
oh goodness, it's probably just through age. I'm
Right. Okay.
41 now. Don't look it. Thank
No,
you.
no, no, you don't,
Um,
mate. No, you still.
I don't look. I'm
T-
still wearing hoodies as well. I'm definitely not a traditional 41-year-old,
it's a
but
good. It's a good damn hoodie, that's for certain.
and a great message as well. That's exactly why I wore it, Stephen. I
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
I
100%.
think I was, girlfriend's kids were with the Cubs
Yeah,
recently, and they were skiing. And one of the guides, or whatever the heck you call them these days, one of the volunteers, young girl,
yeah.
and she was like, "Love that hoodie, love the message, such a good message." And she's, I don't know, she must be like 17 years
Hmm.
old. She's going up to 41-year-old me and saying, I love that message, that is great. And that was just really fulfilling. So I love what they do, and I
Hmm.
just want to promote that message as well, because I know that a lot of your podcast is, men's mental health, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
want to
It's
kind of
it's
rep
it's
it for them
massive that,
today.
yeah, anybody that wants to put the message out there, it's huge. It needs to be pushed out, like it really does, because we don't need it as a taboo. We just need to push that message out there that it's all right to cry. It's all right to be sad. It's all right to feel angry and annoyed and not know why you feel that way. That's one of the biggest things for me. And it's, if you talk about it, all of a sudden the problem's halved. You don't actually realize that
Yeah,
you don't need to hold it all in. You don't need to stop. You don't need to feel that way. You can actually feel brilliant in society with just having that small conversation. So all it takes is a small conversation. But, you know,
exactly. I don't want to get away from your question,
no,
but
no.
anyone that knows me, I'm quite an emotional man.
Yeah.
I'm very in touch with that sort of thing, and I just think that people need to feel emotions more, whether that be, men, women, and everything in between. I think people just need to realize that the person they are is not their brain. I
Hmm.
very much separate myself from my brain. That is a different entity from me as a person, and whatever that tells me on a certain day that I'm feeling, it doesn't necessarily need to be the reality. So yeah, I'll get back to your your
Yeah,
your
true.
question
True.
as well. When I started to fall out of love with it, it was probably around about COVID.
Okay.
So I lived on a farm,
Right.
about an hour, 20-minute drive from Edinburgh. And it was great. I loved it. I loved the separation at night and at the weekends and just being in the middle of nowhere. But I was traveling into the centre of Edinburgh every single day for work. Now, I'm a cheapskate, so I wanted to park for free. So I
Hang
would
on, this.
drive.
Hang on, a Scotsman's just admitted that online, saying I'm a
You get the
cheapskate.
stereotypes out now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a stereotype if we didn't get one. Anybody else in the world that doesn't get it, saying a Scotsman saying that he's not tight. I mean, that's fucking brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But I would drive for about an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes
yeah,
into work in the morning. I would park up the car, and then I would walk for 35 minutes.
Right.
to my office. Now, I did that. My ex-partner and I worked together for a long time,
Hmm.
and we were doing that for a bit, and then she moved to a different job, so I was doing it on my own, and it was fine. I just got on with it. But that's, as you say, an hour and 10, hour and 20-minute drive in the morning, 35-minute walk
Hmm.
uphill through the meadows, if anyone knows Edinburgh, and I had to do that twice a day. Every day, 5 days a week, because we were in the office 5 days. So the minute COVID hit, I was delighted. I
Yeah.
don't need to do all this again, but actually, I just did it. So when COVID, finally stopped and we were going back into the office, I started to resent that journey. I would
Mm.
do it and I would like, this is rubbish. Life is so much better than the hamster wheel
Yeah.
of me doing what is essentially, let's just round it down to an hour and a half one way. That's 3 hours of my day, every single day, 5 days a week, that I'm traveling to an office. That
Yeah.
I'm on meetings, virtual meetings, with
Yeah.
people that are in London. Like, this is pointless. So I started to resent it a bit. And that was a job that I said for a long, long time I loved. Anyone asked me, do you love your job? Yes, I do. And I started to fall out of love with it.
Hmm.
Probably because of that, but also there was changes. Like, finance and big companies change. They have to. They have to
Yeah.
evolve all the time. It's usually an annual thing. People get let go, there's new strategies, all that sort of stuff. And I was in a team that were very much unloved for a long time.
Yeah.
And the strategy changed and it started to weigh quite heavy on us. And I started to push back because I was like, I've been asking for help for a long time here,
Hmm.
and you haven't listened. And now it's pressure on us rather
Yeah.
than like the help that we asked for. So I started to really kind of resent people that I worked with, management, all that sort of stuff. And as I say, this company, I still love them. I'd love to go back, but I really started to resent it. So not that I fell out of love with what I was doing and what I was learning. I was more falling out of love with the situation.
Yeah, and I
And
and I and I get that as well because I think there's a lot of people when they had COVID, it gives them a sense of like, right, okay, what do I want out of life now? What do I want to do now? Because they've had all this free time at home. And don't get me wrong, we had no idea what was coming. Nobody had a clue what was going on in the real world. I don't think the media helped in any shape, way, or form. The scaremongering, all the rest of it, it just became monotonous. And it was like, I mean, I remember the bloody death toll every day. It's like, why keep a death toll? Like, how it's depressing. Like, do you not think everybody's scared and anxious and overwhelmed as it is? Like, you didn't need it to be on repeat 24/7. Yes, you could have an update and say, if you wanted to be on that update 9 o'clock at night and go, that's what's happened today. That's how
yeah,
many people's lost their lives. And yes, it is a sad thing. And everybody in the NHS, I think we're so lucky that we do have it, and they did an incredible job all the way through it. And for all of us, while we were at home doing, working and different things, and it changed my perspective as well because I spent a lot of time with my kids for the first time. Don't get me wrong, I've been a dad and I've spent time with them, but I had more because I wasn't sat in a 50-hour or 60-hour a week job. And it was kind of like, yeah, when I went back to work, I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't
yeah.
want to be in it this time anymore. And I get that you saying you doing a 3-hour journey every day. How else, what more can you do with that 3-hour journey? Instead of having a 35-minute walk, like that you probably enjoyed that set you up for the day, it's kind of like, what was that? What can you do in that time? You can do all sorts, especially if you're out in the countryside, massively.
I think you've also hit the nail on the head there is what you can do with that time.
Yeah.
Now that I've got loads of time, again,
Hmm.
I've visited my London office with my company more than I've visited my Edinburgh office, and I've worked here for 7 months. And that's
That's
and I and I'm 25 minutes door to door.
that's insane. Because
I know.
what's that? A 4.5 hour like train journey, roughly, probably.
It is. I'm accustomed to a flight.
Well,
Again,
yeah, even if it's a flight. I mean, yeah, because I mean, I'm not being funny. I wouldn't want to sit on the train for 4.5 hours every week. That would do my head in. I would rather fly
yeah,
out of Edinburgh straight into London where you need to be, and you're going to get your Uber, you're going to go on the train to get where you need to be. Because what's your flight? 40, 50 minutes and you're done.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like what I'm trying to get at is it's connection that I've realized. Like I only realized last year. I took for granted like that journey for me was terrible.
yeah,
And the office was terrible, but it was just a thing that we did. And people now, like my brother is a massive, work at home person. I get more done
Yeah.
when I work at home. I could get more done when I work at home, but it's connection. I crave connection. What I've
Yeah.
realized maybe over the past 6 months is actually the office that I was in before, we were in 4 days a week, and now
Yeah.
it's one day a week, but no one actually really cares. And what I've realized over time, I live alone. I don't have anyone here. Most of my friends are back in Glasgow, and anyone that's through here, we're 40,
Yeah.
roughly. Everyone's got
Yeah.
lives, they've got children, all that sort of stuff. As I say, I've got commitments as well, and I'm missing connection with people. So that office space for me, I've come quick to realize is it wasn't about working in an office and being, told to work in there by
Yeah.
the company, the man, the woman, whatever. For me, actually, it was connection. Those water cooler conversations that are
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cliched,
100%. Yeah.
and tell you, I get nothing done in the office because I go in and I sit there and then I get a coffee with someone and then we disappear and then you go back and then you get another coffee and then you have another chat and then you go for lunch. I get nothing done. But what that does for me on a weekly basis, that connection with people is invaluable.
Yeah.
And it's taken me a long time post-COVID because now we're like 7 years
Mm-hmm.
post-COVID. It almost to the day, to be fair, like
Yeah.
when I was first told to go home. And at the time I thought, amazing. I get to stay in my house. It's not all it's cracked
Yeah.
up to be. As someone, as I say, who lives alone, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I need
No.
that connection, so I miss it. And my current job, we've got a smaller office than I did before, but the energy that the battery refill I get just from talking to someone is just incredible. Like I see my
Yeah.
girlfriend at the weekend and I just talk
Yeah.
constantly. She's like, "Will you shut up?" Like, no, I haven't seen anyone for ages.
I love it, but I'm the same. When I left Toyota, I left my career. Like I would walk in, I had my team of lads all day, the front desk. You'd have the salesman, all that kind of stuff on the site, and I'd walk in, and it's like, "How are you doing?" You have that banter every morning. One of the lads off the workshop floor go, "Oh, what a dickhead you are today," because I've just walked in the door. I'm like, "Fuck you!" Like I'm going to make your day shit now. Like it's going to be, and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, whatever." Do you know what I mean? And like it was that banter. But I'd walk in, and the couple of lads I'd have like. I've got a Chelsea supporter in there. I've got a Spurs supporter in there. We've got Sunderland in there.
Chelsea supporter, I bet he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He is honestly same as the lad that supports Spurs, like absolutely mint. But it would come in and like he'd have it and go, "Oh, look at you Geordie Tosser. What happened last night and all this?" But that was the banter, and I miss that.
Yeah.
And it was always that. Even the cleaners that you would have, and it's kind of like that's what I've said. Like I miss that every day that I have with people. So now and again, when I get a bit of free time, I'll head back to the sites I used to be in, and then just go have a bit crack with them and have a bit of chat, or I'll go sit in my barber's for an hour, go take them a coffee and just go have some
Yeah.
mad crack because I get myself back out there and I don't mind. Like some people go, "Oh, networking events, oh, they're dull." Like, are they fuck? Like, I mean, I go have a conversation and laugh because I see it as just me being out there. And that's one of them things. And I get what you're saying 100% because you need that. We're social creatures. We all need to go out. We all need to feel that
Yeah.
connection because if you don't, that's where these other things creep in your mind going, "Well, I'm alone. What's the point of me living? This, that, the other." And it's like, no, there's more to it than one side. Like, yeah, it's nice to have that work-life balance and it's nice to be able to go in the office. It's nice to be able to stay at home and do the jobs because you said, and you know that you're going to be more like, your productivity is going to be better because you're not going to have like 4 coffees in a morning and chat with a load of people, but you still need to have that. And I think that's a great thing to have. That you can go in an office, do that, and then go, right, okay, now I really need to get me work done. It's like me, the same. My kids are off school this week, and it's like, shit, what have I actually achieved this week? Minimal, but I've got it done, and it's not as much as I want, but it means my next week is absolutely full throttle, and that's one of them,
Yeah. And going back to the whole sort of mental health you mentioned, it's like people need connection. I think I would talk about the pre-COVID life, I don't think people really realized just how much connection was important.
Yeah,
And for me personally, I know a lot of people that have just gone back to the way of life and been like, yeah, I love being off, I love having the flexibility. But me, I'm just kind of, my eyes are open to how much I miss people.
yeah,
You talk about the networking events, they were always difficult. I always had to do them in finance. And you turn up and it's, who do you walk up to and just go, "Hi, how are you?"
yeah,
And it's hard. I'm reading a book at the moment called Sober on a Drunk Planet. which I
Okay.
highly recommend. And one of the things that they talk about is the alcohol crutch when you go
Oh,
into these events. And one thing, and I highlighted it on my Kindle, it was, you remember when you were young and you went to a birthday party and you walked in and you watch, like, you've got kids.
yeah,
You
yeah.
see them when they first go in and they're like, okay, what do I do? 10 minutes in, they're running about playing with everyone. And it's
Hmm.
the same, we forget that as adults, that these situations that we go into, like networking, are essentially the same as we did at birthday parties when we were children.
Yep.
And we feel the need to have a crutch to go into these to make sure that they're not that bad. But actually, without any crutch, 10 minutes in, we're all just, running about playing.
Yeah.
And we're the same as we were when we were young and children, and the minds were open and all that sort of stuff. I just think we're a bit more guarded
We
these
forget how to
days.
be daft. We forget to
Exactly.
just and you say guard, let the guard down. Be yourself. Just, it doesn't matter. If somebody doesn't like you, tough shit. That's going to
Exactly.
happen in life. It doesn't matter. Like, there's always going to be someone out there that doesn't like you. There's always going to be that narrative. It doesn't matter. You can't please everybody. And should you try? No, because it doesn't matter. If they don't like you for you, move on to the next one. It's the same as a relationship, and these things, they do happen, and you can be the best person in the world that you want it to be the best thing and go, I don't need to, because why waste the time?
I know. I'm
That
a
that
people pleaser, Stephen.
Yeah.
So,
You'll always
so,
try, but I don't know. Maybe I was a bit more of a people pleaser when I was younger, but I've got to that point now where I've just said, do you know what it is? And I know that I can't please everybody, and I say that in coaching, like, you can't please everybody. It's and why give yourself anxiety? Why give yourself that overwhelm of going, oh my God, what did they think about me? What are they going to say? And, like, did I make a good impression? Stop. It doesn't matter. It's that, then that triggers a load of other things, which gives you self-doubt that going, well, I'm not that good in that situation. I can't maybe be able to do these things. I'm never going to be able to talk to people. And it's that spiral that I see. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing being a people pleaser, because that's a part of you. But it's kind of trying to get people to see it and just go, sometimes you've just got to let it be and just let it go, because you just don't need that little 5%. Sometimes just walk away. And it's not that you haven't done anything wrong. It's just that it doesn't work, and some things just don't work in life, and that's, it's one of the beauties of life.
I'm getting better at it
Yeah. Good.
in my old age, but man, it kills me. It
Yeah,
kills me to know that someone might not like me, because I'm always trying to do my best.
yeah,
And even when I think I've put on a perfect show, regardless of what that context is, to think that someone doesn't like me, I'm like, I'm not an unlikable person.
yeah,
But people just don't gel sometimes. So I'm finding it difficult, but I'm getting
yeah,
better at it. But
yeah.
it's so hard because I feel like I'm a lover of all people.
Mm.
So when I approach people and then they just generally don't have a feel for me, that kills me inside. But as I say, in my old age, I'm getting better at it. It
Yeah,
cuts deep, but it's hard, but it's essential for life. Like,
yeah,
I don't like a lot of people. Well, I'd like to think that I don't not like anyone, but
yeah,
there's some people that we're just not compatible with, and that's fine. So, as I say, I'm trying.
yeah.
It's
What
hard,
it,
but
how does it, like, because anxiety side, you'll feel quite anxious about it quite a lot.
yeah.
How does that show up for you on sort of like a daily basis, and, like, sort of when in that situation, how does it affect you in a few days before, after, sort of thing? Is it one of them, or is it something that you just, like you said before, you're coping with it, but how have you led to that coping mechanism now?
Like I feel it, like in
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
It's like that feeling before Christmas Day when you were a kid and you were
Yeah.
waiting on Santa coming. This
Yeah.
like feeling, but you got that in your gut when you were younger, but when you're older and you're anxious, it's like in here in your heart. And
Yeah.
it's hard because you're just on edge. You feel like something's coming, but it's not.
Yeah.
And it's difficult. Like even my partner, her way of dealing with any sort of conflict, and not that we have a lot of it, she takes herself away, isolates, deals with it herself. I'm
Yeah.
the fixer. So when she won't respond to me over text, not because she's ignoring me, it's just like that's her coping mechanism. It kills me. I'm like, what have I done? And then the rumination starts. What have I done? Have I been a bad person? How can I fix this? And that's
Hmm.
generally how I feel with most interactions with people that don't like me are slightly different, but people that I
Yeah.
care about in conflict, the anxiety really is difficult. And as I say, it's this butterflies in your chest feeling.
Yeah.
And you do need to take a step back and, as I say, separate the brain from the self,
Mm.
and then you have to have a conversation to say the feelings that I have are not the same as me, and then
Yeah.
it's, as I say, trying to separate yourself from it.
I suppose you'll judge yourself quite a lot with that as well, won't you? Because like you're saying there, like, is it my fault? Is it this? Is it that? So how much of your time do you spend judging yourself in these situations?
A lot less time than I used to.
Okay.
I've become a lot better now. I'm a lot more spiritual.
Okay.
I know that's kind of throwaway term that, a lot of people will laugh at, but I'm a lot more in touch with who I am in the world
Yeah.
and what the world means. And as I say, my thoughts and my feelings in that day are literally insignificant
Yeah.
towards everything else. Now they are significant to me and my
Yeah.
feeling and the people that I care about, but I don't spend as much time as I used to. I was a really anxious kid.
Yeah.
Like growing up, you hear these stories about, kids and they would go off and with their pals and, go into town and drinking
Yeah.
hooch. That was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah. Yeah.
simple
Hooch.
back in the
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
and then
I
they
remember
canned
that.
them because they had these cartoon characters on them, but drinking hooch and whatever at the weekends, and I just didn't do that. I was
Yeah.
afraid to leave my house.
Okay.
Like one of my best mates, he stayed really close to me, and he's just a wonderful human and just water off a duck's back. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure he worries about stuff in his own way, but he's just so pragmatic about everything. And he was a great best mate to have growing up. But he would be like, let's go into town. So go into Glasgow. And you're talking like a 12-minute train journey.
Hmm.
And 3 minutes down at that train station, I would worry, what's going to happen to me? Are the bad men going to come and get me? Are the Neds, Chavs, whatever you want to call them, the Neds
Yeah.
up here, are they going to try and steal my stuff and batter me on the way in? And that's how I felt for a long time. I would think that if I went into town, something bad was going to happen. So I let a lot of experiences with my good friends go because I just didn't want to do them because my anxiety took over. And some of the times when I did go, okay, I'm going to push through. There was one time that the lads were playing football up
Hmm.
in fields not too far away from us, but they were playing football, and I never did it because I was like, the bad boys are going to come and get me. And this one time I agreed. Guess what? The bad boys came. Yeah, they did. They did. The local young team came, and yeah, just it was awful. And I that happened to me a couple of times in my life. I remember one time we were going down to the main street where I live, and there was badminton that we used to
Yeah.
play. And again, I never went down because I was afraid. And then that one time I went down, we got jumped by, as I say, the young team again. So all of these things reinforced my anxiety over time. A lot of people now, especially in the job I'm in, think I'm confident.
Yeah.
I've developed that confidence over time, but it's taken a long time. As I say, that anxiety has been really bad.
You've give yourself coping mechanisms without you probably even realizing, and that's one of the big things. And you say about your childhood and going on that train journey and worrying about what was going to be at the other end of it. And yeah, I was an anxious kid. I was, because it was bloody hard. Like, living in the Northeast wasn't an easy place to grow up, same as Glasgow.
Yeah,
Like, it wasn't. And I remember being out and there was bigger kids and they'd come up to you and go, well, I'm taking you football. And they're like, you're fucking not. Like, you're fucking not.
yeah,
And they're like, yeah, we are. Like, no, you're fucking not. And it was kind of like, well, I'm going to hit you. Well, we're going to go at it, aren't we? And there was always that lack of peace in behind that. It was like, well, what's going to happen today? How are you going to survive? What was the next
yeah,
thing? And it was the same when I was in comp. And unfortunately, I mean, I remember having fights in bloody hallways that somebody didn't like me, or somebody thought I was a knob or whatever it was. And you were just having fights. And it was just like, there was always that piece where you're on edge. And it was like, why are we on edge? What are we on
yeah,
edge for? And it's difficult when you're on edge. How then do you come and step away from that? How do you then not feel that sense of anxiety going through? Like, I had anxiety as a kid, but I got myself to a point when it was kind of like, I said this about school, I've said this before, I hated it. Like, it wasn't my best place at all. And it wasn't until I left and I went to college where I actually had people that believed in me and actually took me under the wing and said,
Yeah.
no, you can do this differently. You can have this. And it kind of got rid of them fears that you didn't always have to be on edge because somebody was going to help you and look after you. And I think that was the bigger thing. And sort of your mindset changed and shifted as you've got older. What was that mindset shift that changed for you? Because obviously my mindset for me was when somebody believed in me, sort of thing. So what was that kind of like, as you said, you've got better as you've got older, but what's that little change that's helped you get through that point? Was it somebody particular? Was it something that happened? Or was it just sort of when you say like you were in the spiritual side, like, is it just kind of like you've more gone and actually saying, well, actually, I need to now change my mindset to take me a bit further forward?
I don't think there was anything pivotal that changed. You see, when I grew up, I overcompensated
Mm-hmm.
after a long time. Like when I hit 18, 19, started going out, it was just drinking,
Yeah.
getting the beers in. All of a sudden, I realized, like, I felt like this thing stopped the anxiety and let me come out.
Right. Okay.
And I became very confident
Right.
and, as I say, overcompensated. Didn't I probably was in a fair few more fights than I ever should have been in my life because I'm
Mm-hmm.
just not that guy. But I overcompensated when I realized, well, I'm 6'3". I'm all right to look at as far, well, that's what I think. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I would go out and I projected my insecurities back out, and that was, yeah, you're not gonna take me on anymore because I'm no longer afraid of you. And that
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
manifested itself in anyone. Not that I was out looking for fights, but you know, the guys that I was out with knew that if anything kicked off, I'd be front of the queue. Which anyone that knows me now would, especially like my partner. There's no way that she would ever think that she would be like, yeah, yeah, good on you. There's no chance that you're that guy, but I was for a long
Yeah.
time. And I think that's how I coped with it. I then pushed out to say, nah, you're not taking control of me anymore because I'm actually harder than you think.
Mm-hmm.
And I pushed back. And I'm not like that anymore. There's literally no anger in my body
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
And I think that comes with maturity,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just never angry. There's just no point. But the anxiety, I think, the alcohol was a good crutch for me.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me get over that, and it helped me then get in tune with actually the confident person that I was deep down.
Yeah.
And over time, it's just allowed me to, I don't know, I just say I'm a lover of people. I just love talking to people, and I think that's what's really got me over it over time is just my love of communication, my love of connection. No one in particular. I just realized that I wasn't the scared person that I once thought I was, but I still am, to be
Yeah.
honest, even as a 41-year-old man. I go to the airport the other day to travel for work, and I'm worried. What's going to happen on this flight? And it's this, brain versus
Mm-hmm.
self chat. And I know that there's nothing there, but the voices still happen. Not to sound like a crazy person, but sometimes it's still that anxiety is still trying to creep back into your life. And it's being adult enough now for me to know that the voices in the brain are not me.
Yeah.
And that's how I actually sometimes, as I say, crazy as it sounds, I'll have a conversation with myself. So when these things ping into my head, I'll stop and go, deep breath and say, that's not you. This is something else talking to you. You need to move on from
Yeah.
it. And that helps a lot.
Yeah. It's that 1% mind shift all the time. It's that, like you say, they're going to the airport. What's going to happen in this flight? Absolutely nothing. But it's for some reason, it's in your head. You might see
Yep.
something and go, I don't like the look of that. And that's your conscious mind going, oh, why is that setting me off? Why have I got to that point? And I suppose everybody's guilty of that 1%. I I don't really think that way. My mindset is probably the clearest it's ever been in my life for a long, long, long period of time. But you talk about, and I'll just go back to it there, like, I had a lot more fights than you did. I did as well. And my mate, it was always like, if there was something kicking off, I'd be the one at the front of the
Yeah.
queue going, one, either talking them away, saying, no, you need to like just behave and go enjoy your night, like, sod off. Or it was like, look, if you're ready to go, you're going to get me first, not him. So whatever
Yep.
your problem is, it's not just him you've got me, and you've probably got another three behind us. So what we doing? And you're going to face me first. And it was always one of them. And I'll say this, that 1% mind shift for me, I looked at it one day and went, why do I do that? Why do I need to be that person? I know that I
Yeah.
can go talk to that person and say, tell you what, we don't need to do that today. What's the point? It's that talk, it's that narrative that you change it down
Exactly.
and go, I don't need to go there and go smash somebody's face in, because what's that realistically going to do? Take all my anger away. Same as you. I'm not an angry person anymore. I don't feel anger. I don't. Do you know, if I've had a frustrating day, the gym weights are going to get it. They're going to get
Mhm.
absolutely, they're going to get destroyed. Like, that's my biggest thing. It's like, right, put 60 kilos on either side. I'm going to push it till I can't physically push it no more. Excuse me. And then I come out and I feel amazing. The endorphins have gone.
Oh,
I feel lighter. I just feel euphoric. And it's like, that's how you should feel. And I suppose, and that's probably the point I'm getting to, is if anybody's got aggression, fuck it off. Fuck it off. Change that 1% mind shift, because that 1% is going to change your life in a lot of different ways. You've said,
yeah.
it's changed for you. You've done different things. I've done different things. And I feel a total different human being for it. Percent.
Life is so much better when you let things go, and I wish people understood that. It's so hard when you've got daily stresses, whether that be life, relationships, money. Like, these things will happen, but
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate enough not to have a lot of those stresses. But my God, it's freeing. I remember my dad. My dad used to work in the police for
Yeah.
a long time, and he was angry. And I remember that's the person that I remember growing up. And I had a conversation with him over text very recently. And I was saying to him, like, that's not my dad. And now, being an adult, I realised that, like, see, the minute my dad stopped working for the police, he was a different person. Like, all of a sudden, there was this loving, like, just fun guy that just emerged. And then I realised, now being an adult, is he was a victim of his situation.
Yeah.
And that's looking after kids, family, working in a horrible job. You get to meet some horrible bastards working in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
police.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got a lot of admiration for the people that do it. But then, like, as I say, my dad's now, goodness, 20 odd years out of the police. He's a different guy. If you were to tell someone today that my dad was angry, they wouldn't believe you.
Yeah.
He's not the same. And that's kind of now what I look up to when I'm a bit older. Your situation is always going to be your situation,
Hmm.
and it's difficult not to let it dictate your feeling. But if you're able to separate yourself, you're going to have a happier life. As I say, it's not always that clear cut. There'll be a lot of people, as I say in the comments, saying, well, it's not that difficult because I'm having to work, 2 jobs, look after kids. It's difficult. Like, it is. But there must be some way for someone in any type of situation to try and separate themselves and look at the positives. I do a little bit of journaling now
Yeah.
in the morning. That's one of the first things I do. I go to the gym 7:30 most
Excuse me.
mornings. Again, fortunate enough to be working from home, and my gym is like 2 minutes round the corner. But that's what I try to do with my morning is, waking up today, what did I think during the night? Bang, 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 get out of the head. This is not a storage device. That's one thing I've learned in life is I ain't remembering anything. Getting it down, what am I grateful for, all that sort of stuff. See, it's easier said than done, but um, yeah, separating yourself from problems is the key to a happy life, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. And that's what I've done now is I'm no longer angry at anything. Like, things will crop up. I'm very, 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 very fortunate to not have a lot of stresses in my life. But even the ones that I do have, I try and separate myself from
No,
it.
100%.
And that
You've
helps the
got,
anxiety.
yeah, you've got to. You've got to. And, I say this with kids and different things. You've got to have that 10-minute switch off. There's always 10 minutes in the day. I don't care what anybody says. There's 10 minutes before they
No, there
get up.
is. Yeah.
There's 10 minutes before you go to bed. There is 10 minutes to do absolutely anything within your day to have that mental reset to get you back to where you needed to be. So all it is 10 minutes. It could be journaling. It could be watching something on YouTube. It could be watching us, speak about this. It could be watching about football. It could be anything, but it's just that mental switch off that it just takes you out that room for
Stephen, do
10
you know what I
minutes.
love? The Shakti mat
Yeah.
is loads of spikes, so it's the Indian nail beds, that people used to lie on, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of where it comes from. And I love it. I put it on my bed. I've got the Cam app,
Mm-hmm.
which, if you don't have, is absolutely amazing. I love it, which again is kind of funded by my previous employer. And I've not cut it, not cut it yet, so I'm just keeping it. The Cam app, I put on a 10-minute Cam every day,
Yeah.
and I lie on this mat, and it's just spikes, so you could lie on it without a t-shirt, and it's uncomfortable at first. See, couple of minutes in, your body just like all of these pressure points that it's pushing into you eventually just start to go into this trance-like state, and it's amazing. I love it. It's my way to calm down whenever I'm really kind of worked up, whether
Hmm.
that be work or boredom from work. I pick up my phone and I'm just scrolling on stuff. I go, right, I need I need 5 minutes. And at the time you feel like, as you say, 5 minutes is a lot and you can't take that time, but everyone has 10 minutes in a day. Everybody. And that's
100%.
the way that I calm down is I just lie on this mat, close my eyes and meditate for
Yeah.
10 minutes. I know it sounds a bit woo-woo to a lot of people. I'm sure a lot of my friends listening to the podcast and like, oh, fuck off. Like
I like,
meditation. It's
do
so
you know
good.
what it is? The amount of people that meditate, like I sometimes don't meditate, but I like to drive. So if I'm driving, I've got music on, but I can zone out. And all of a sudden, thoughts are totally clear. And I
Yep.
can think about the littler things. And sometimes that's all it is. I'm driving my car. I know where I'm driving and I'm just zoned off. Yes, I'm aware of everything around me. I'm not driving like an absolute loon. Like, do you know what I mean? But like I can just be there and it's like one of the most fluid places for me ever in the
Oh,
world. And it's just, and I get what you're saying. Like I've done meditation before, like especially I'll do it in the summer or if I'm away, or especially the summer when I've got the sun on your face and I can just come down and breathe, put my hands literally palms like that on top of my legs and just go through it and just go, right, okay, what's your dream life look like? And it's funny, if you've had a bad day, right, you can plan out your dream life. And I say this to people, they're like, what, like, fuck off. I'm like, I'm telling you, put your palms
uh-huh.
upside and just breathe in normal, like get your breathing regulated down, just nice and, 5-second breathing, just get yourself sweet. Right, okay, imagine you walking up to your dream life, like however that may be. It could be walking in the house of your dreams, or it could be going on a date. If you're anxious about dating, I use it for, people that want to date again and they're not sure. And it's like, okay, walk in the restaurant. What are you wearing? What are you going to do? Already
Yeah.
talk it through in your mind so you're already there. And it's kind of like that mat scenario for you is the same. You're going to lie there for 10 minutes, zone off. You're going to play things through your mind or just totally be at one. All them pressure points are just being released. And it's like, it's a euphoric moment. And I say that to people until they do it. But you going, oh, my mate's going to go to woo woo. Honestly, I'm one of these people. I would have never, if you asked me 20 years ago, would I have been doing that? I'd have gone, fuck off, full of shit. Nah. But I tell you now, I'm like that. Absolutely, let's have it because I will all day.
Million percent. Million percent. I'm that guy as well. I would always go, fuck off. No
Yeah,
chance. See now, honestly, that 10 minutes that I lie on that mat, it feels like an hour.
yeah,
Like it feels like you're creating time. The only thing that we can never get back, I'm just creating in this moment on this mat. It's insane. And you just come off and you just feel amazing. And I just challenge anyone to do it, not just the
yeah.
mat, just the meditation. Just lie down and stop for a second because life is coming at you really fast
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to leave you really fast. Now I'm 41. I think I'm, realizing the finite, um, time that we've got on this planet. Again, looking at the mortality. Again, I'm very fortunate enough to still have both of my parents, but
Yeah,
the mortality of myself and the people around me. And to say, time is just so valuable. Like there's a stat about spending time with your parents, up until you're like 16, and then the percentage that you spend with them after that. That's insane. And I think anything that you can do to create more time
mm-hmm.
with the time that you've got is invaluable to me. So I love the meditation. I love all the woo-woo stuff as well. I know Andrew was on recently. So Andrew and I have a podcast. We've just never recorded anything, and it's called What If It Isn't?
Yeah,
It's on Instagram. We've never actually really done anything with it yet, but that's going to be talking about the woo-woo stuff, like the meditation,
yeah,
where people go, load of shit. I don't believe in that. Or journaling, or lying on a
mm-hmm.
spiky bed of nails.
Yeah,
We want to talk about all that stuff because you know what? It's dead easy to poo-poo this stuff, but
yeah,
actually, in reality, let's take a step back and actually think, well, tell you what if it isn't a lot of shit? Like, what if
mm-hmm.
it is actually real? And that's what I do now is just I embrace things for face value. I never
Yeah,
just go, that's a lot of rubbish. It's just, you know what? How fucking cool would it be if this is actually true? Like manifesting. People talk about manifesting their dream life and they've got the boards up and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people say that's a lot of shit. But do you know what? How good a life is it living every day manifesting your dream life? Like what if it does come true? Amazing. What if it doesn't? Who cares? Because every day I've lived my life towards what I want my life to be. Surely you're going to be happier for it.
Manifestation. So you say it, right? I'm a big believer in manifestation. If you put out there all the goodness in the world, it will come back to you. 1000%, right?
Yeah.
People go, fuck off. I don't believe you. Bullshit. Does karma. Karma always comes back to you. If you're good out there, it always comes back to you. The thing is with manifestation is people don't realize it's when you believe in yourself, when you actually given yourself every single tool that you can do in your power in your life, you can go achieve anything you want. And
Exactly.
people go, no, I can't. I want to make £1 million. Okay, you can fucking achieve it. You can go do it. And somebody goes, no, I can't. That's your mindset. That's your problem. You can go achieve anything you want, anytime, anyhow, anywhere. You just have to be willing to put into it, because what you put in life is what you're going to get back out 100%. And that's what manifestation is. People get it like confused and think it's totally woo woo. It's this, it's that, it's the other. No, it's not. It's having that clear vision of how you want to get there and how that journey looks. It's not going to be
Yep.
easy at points, because no life is, but some things all of a sudden they'll just start to click together. And it is, when you're ready, I'll come on. I'll come on your podcast. There you go. I'll come on and
Brilliant.
we'll
I would
talk
love
about
that,
that.
Stephen. I would love that.
I'll talk
And
about
do you
that
know
all day
what?
long.
As you say, do you know what? See if I'm on my deathbed, like talk about religion, right?
Yeah.
Another kind of one of those taboo topics. I'm not religious in the slightest.
Same.
But see the people who are, a lot of people go, well, you're kind of looking after you're worshipping a ghost story, right? Who gives two flying fucks whether or not they are or not? Because they wake up every day believing in something. And that something generally makes them a better person because they're driving towards something. And that's kind of what I'm trying to live my life by is I don't poo-poo anyone that's got a belief in something, but my God, I've got so much admiration for someone who wakes up every day believing in something. And
Yeah.
it's the same as manifestation is just, do you know what? If I end up living till I'm 90 and I'm on my deathbed and I've manifested every day of my life and nothing's come true, every single day has been enriched.
Of course it has, because you
Full
believe in
stop.
yourself. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you've never stopped believing in yourself. If you look back at that, right, you're 40 now. If you looked in 50 years and went, I believed in everything that I did. I believed that
Yeah.
every single moment I woke up was going to be a good day. It's going to be great. I'm going to have a great conversation. I'm going to drink an amazing cup of coffee. I'm going to be able to speak to amazing people. I was so
Oh,
pleased I did that podcast. I'm so pleased I did that through my life. I can look back at this and go, wow, I had a real conversation 50 years ago with another guy that was like so real at that time. Look where that's gone on from there till now. We could be looking back at this in 50 years' time and them going, wow, them two guys were like absolutely on it for talking about manifestation, because they think, oh, it's a fucking woo-woo bollock subject. Don't get me wrong. There is a narrative out there because people go, oh, you're full of shit. Like, fucking just go to the pub, go fucking do this, do that. No, like, fucking, we don't always have to rely on a drink, a drug, variety, whatever you want to look at it. I like a pint. I wouldn't lie. I'm not going to wake up every day going, I need a pint, I need a pint, I need a pint, I need a pint to make me feel happy. I'm going to wake up every day and go, right, okay, I made my bed this morning. That's my first achievement of the day. The next
yeah, I
part
always
is,
do that.
yeah, the next point is, right, okay, what do we want to get out of today? How do we manifest today's point and how do we get closer to the goal? And it's one of them, like, you've had a goal that you're going to do the podcast, but you've been working on something else in the meantime because you've already got a YouTube channel. So it's
Yep.
kind of like you've already done something that you wanted to do and you're already doing that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and on the making the bed point, I always do that
Yeah,
because if there's anything that can give you evidence of you paying towards your future self, it's making your bed.
yeah,
So easy. You get up and you make it. And see, when you get into that bed at night, you look back at the person that morning and say, thank you for giving me this wonderful bed to go into at night. It sounds mental.
yeah.
But if there's anything you can do for yourself on a daily basis is make your bed. You're paying forward to your future self. You
hmm
are looking after your future self. It's so simple. And
It
that's
makes you,
something that I always do. I've never regretted getting into a made bed at night,
no,
ever.
because isn't it so refreshing how mind's that clear?
Yeah.
Because your bed's made. It's not There's no crap all over it. It's not from the night before where it's all ruffled up because that was your sleep from that night.
Yep.
It's mint. You pull that back, you get in, your bed's perfect. That is the best thing in life because it gives you that mental freedom. Then you wake up and go, that's done. That's that starting point again where I'm going to come in and be totally relaxed and calm.
And sleep, that's something like I sleep like it's my job
Yeah.
because anything else in my life is going to be better. Like the foundation of me being a better person is if I'm sleeping well.
Yeah.
And it
100%.
sounds mental, but if I'm sleeping 8 hours every night, I'm going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time, I am showing up for everyone that I love better,
Hmm.
showing up at my work better, I'm showing up for myself better, my nutrition's better, my choices are better, my gym performance is better. It
Yeah.
is the foundation of my life. Like anyone that says, that hustle culture of, you sleep when you're dead and, nah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I used to think that when I was sleeping, like my favorite time was anything after 10 p.m. for a long time. My favorite time now is anything after 5 p.m. until 9. I I am not a night owl. I don't have any desire to be doing anything in the evening. I don't TV, fine. I don't mind it. I don't play the PlayStation. I've got one of them, but I don't play it. I'd rather go round for a sauna and go to my bed and
Yeah.
cooks. As I
Yeah.
say, yeah, just showing up for yourself, just knowing exactly what is important. But for me, sleep, making your bed.
100%. Yeah, good bit of sleep. It never, it never fails because you feel totally different. You do. The next morning you do. Like I've had a better sleep last night. I feel £1,000,000 today. I feel a lot better. That'll push my train tonight. That'll make me feel loads better. I'll go get my 3 litres of water and I need to drink today to make me feel that person and
Yep.
just relax for the weekend. I want to talk a little bit more about your YouTube channel because I think people should know a bit more about it because for me, like, it's a great channel and you can probably sum it up better than I can. Yeah, what's it mean to you?
So I'm about 38 days since my last upload, and that's not great. I want to be doing a bit more. Again, my job is pretty intense. I do have a lot of time in the evening, but sometimes I'm so tired that I just want to kind of exist after that. But I woke up one morning and I was listening to a YouTube channel, Tamara Gabriel, her name is, and she's got a Just Make the Damn Video, as it's called.
Right, okay.
And I woke up one morning and I thought, yeah, fuck it, make the damn video. And she's got this 30-day challenge. And I thought, I'm going to upload a video every day for 30 days. Now, her challenge is short form stuff. She's just wanting a 1 minute video and she gives you the content to talk about. But I just went full hog and went, yeah, let's just actually record
Go ahead.
YouTube videos.
Yeah, yeah.
One of my toxic traits is I love to buy equipment for videography and photography. I've got 4 drones. I've got all the gear, and you and I were talking at the start.
Yeah.
Like this wasn't working as much as I wanted it to, but I
Yeah.
just I just love it, and I thought I'm just going to record it. I learned a lot about editing videos. But what I wanted to do is my vision for my channel was just exactly what I'm talking about, like this anxiety in
Yeah.
men's mental health and existing is I wanted to go on and I wanted people to relate
Hmm.
to me
Yeah.
more from life. Like I've existed for a lot of time thinking that I am the only one feeling what I'm feeling, and I'm
Yeah.
not. Every single person out there. I was sat on a plane yesterday and I looked around and I thought, nobody is looking at me. Everyone is fighting their own demons. And I
Hmm.
wrote it on my Apple Notes and that's something that I wanted to just go on is to relate to predominantly men and men's mental health, because I do think it's something that we are told to be stoic and all the
Hmm.
rest of it. But anyone in between, as I say, anyone that can relate to me and how they're feeling. What I wanted to do is promote outdoor living and moving, and that's why it's called Highland Motion. I would love to proclaim that that was me, but that was ChatGPT after a couple of inputs, but it seems to have worked. A
Yeah.
dream. But I'm very fortunate to stay in Scotland, and I'm only ever 45 minutes from, well, in fact, 45 minutes from a hill, but I'm 2 minutes from any sort of outdoor space.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And my happy place is being outside. It's waking up in the morning and going a run, going for a park run or climbing a hill, whether it be in the sun or the rain or the snow. I love it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's just me. I think that people need to appreciate being outside more. and how that calms your brain. Like the Shakti mat, when I sit down inside, that calms my head. But sitting outside on a hill and having a glass of water and just appreciating just like how amazing life is,
Yeah.
just existing, is what I'm trying to promote to people. And I think a lot of people would be a lot happier and probably making inroads towards a good state of mental health if they were outside. So I wanted to do that and document my journey, show people exactly what it's like being outside, and that it doesn't take a lot to get out and, you know, impact your everyday.
No, it doesn't. Talked about Andrew and he's 75 hard and going out and doing his steps. And, yeah.
Yeah,
And, I make sure I go out and walk the dog. Like, that's for me. Like last night, I was like, I'd only got sort of 1,500 steps in before I'd got the dog out. And I was like, that's not enough. So I went and did like 7,500 steps, which is what, probably 4 kilometers, maybe.
yeah,
All right, 2.5 miles, something like that, roughly. And I was like, I'm going to go get that in. And it was like, how quick can I get that done? And I think I was out, 40 odd minutes, and I got that done. Decent pace, don't get me
wow,
wrong. But I'm making sure that I'm out and I'm going for it, because otherwise there's no point. And it's like, I I came back and I was like, right, I feel mint for that now. And that's why I had another great sleep, because I'd had that full blown like atmosphere in my face, like where there was a bit of wind, where there
yeah,
wasn't. It was a bit of a bite in the air. And I'm a big thing, like I love windy weather. I love being up the top of a mountain. I love doing all these things. Any element, give us it. I don't care. Let it blow at me.
yeah.
Do it. It makes you feel alive. If somebody said to me, I don't feel alive, I tell you what, come with me. You'll be able to be felt and we'll get you feeling alive, because it's amazing just to go out there and walk, and somebody go, well, I can't walk far. It doesn't matter how far you go. It just matters that you've gone out and gone done it. Even if you go stand in your garden or stand somewhere that you've got it in a public space, or sit at that seat and just watch the world go by. I guarantee
Wow.
if you go sit there 3 days in a row, it's totally different every single day you go back, because nothing will be the same. Nothing will be. The landscape will have changed because it'll have grown, something different on it. There's somebody walking in a different place. There's no two people doing the same thing, the same time, the same day. If they are, the regiment, and they've got their mindset of where they're going, well done to them. But generally, if you went and sat back in that chair 3 times in a row, but it's absolutely different every single time. Always.
It's wonderful. So I went out. I took one of my girlfriend's children up a hill. Well, I actually
Yeah.
did it twice in a row, because we were out on the Saturday and I thought I was winding them up, and I said, "Oh, we're going to go and climb to Tinto Hill. It's quite a
Right.
popular hill, you know, if you're kind of Central Belt. Doesn't take you a lot of time." And I was like, "Yeah, we're going to go up Tinto when we get back." And one of them went, "I know you're winding me up, but yeah, let's do it." I'm like, and I look at her and she's like, "You've made your bed here, mate." So I had to take two of them up the hill. They didn't last that long, but then the next day we went park run, the cinema, and then back. And one of them, you know, the little boy, he turned around to me and he went, "Can we go up Tinto again?" And I'd just eaten a power of food, and she's looking at me going, "I don't know if you want to do it." And I went, nah, because again, it's those choices in that moment for me
Yeah.
are important, but also for him. Like, he's 8. The fact
Yeah.
that he's even said this, like, you don't deny your children moments
No.
like that. If they
No.
ask, you deliver. So
Do you know what
that's
it
what I
is?
did.
I think that you don't deny anybody that choice. And
Nope.
it could be your friends, your wife, it'd be anybody. If somebody says, are you free? I'm like, I'll always make time. I'll always help
Yeah.
wherever I can. And if I can't, I say, look, I can't do it today, but you want to do it another day?
But
100%. If there's circumstances and things that always happen, but I'm always like, right, okay, if we can't do it today, right, what about tomorrow? Can we do it tomorrow? Yep,
yeah,
100%. Right, let's go do it. Like, or we'll plan it. Absolutely. I'm there for that all day long. Yeah, let's go do it, because I don't think we should wait. I think we should live more
no,
in the
take our time.
moment. And I speak about this all the time, being about present. And I've said this on this podcast, I don't know how many times, being present and being in that week, in your week. Don't look at the future too far, because it's pointless. You don't need to worry about that. Don't look at what's been behind you, because it's pointless. It's been you've done. As long as you did it well, or if you don't think that some things that went so well, tough shit. It doesn't matter. It's a piece of growth, and you'll learn and you'll go to the next step. But it's where you are in that time scale now that you can go, okay, I've eaten a massive amount of food. Let's go up that hill. Let's go see it. I ain't going to do it as quick as yesterday, because I'm absolutely busting the gut. But then you'll come back and you'll go, do you know what? I feel 10 times better for doing that, because I don't feel so full now and lethargic, because you've moved your body. You've got yourself where you needed to go, you know?
We don't have any other time than the time we've got right now. And
100%.
that's reality.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
even me deferring it to next week to say to him, "Look, I'll take you next week." I don't have that time. I can't guarantee that. I've given him a guarantee that I can't fulfill.
yeah, yeah,
I only know I can fulfill that guarantee when that time comes up.
yeah,
So for me to deny a young lad who wants to do something with someone he cares about in that moment, I'm
yeah.
never denying that of for him. And we went up and it was good fun. And then it started pissing it down. Like biblical weather. And he's just got this parka on, with all
Yeah,
the kind of like patterns and stuff. And I looked at him and he's like, I think we should go back down. I went, cool. Like it's up to you, mate. And
yeah.
then he went, no, let's power through. I'm like,
Get in.
yes, yes, lad, let's do it.
Let's go.
And then I walked on about 5 minutes and I went, nah, this is awful. I'm very fortunate. I've been hill walking for a while, so I've got all the gear on.
Yeah, yeah.
I could be out in that for weeks and still be
Be
dry.
dry.
And I'm looking at him and he's powering through in the wind and the rain's hitting him in the face and he's smiling at me and he's loving life. And I went, nah, dude, like we need to make a call. And I'm texting his mum. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're alive. Don't worry about it.
We're just a bit wet, but yeah. But then
So good though.
it's a piece that you've got there now with him, and you just go, right, okay, well, you will get you a different jacket, and we can go do it again. Like that's the thing, and
Oh,
that's what they look for. I suppose I sort of got like sort of a last question for you, really. So if you look back in, let's say, 5 years' time, where would you like to see your future self be in that sort of time? Or what would you like to say to your future self if you came back and said,
oh,
I'm pleased I did that? Or if you could give yourself a piece of advice, what do you think it would be? Or to anybody out there, if that makes it easier for you? Because it's quite a big question, and I'll always try and give them kind of big things off.
yeah. I think my advice to myself is do something you love. And I know that's really easy to say.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life, all that nonsense. But actually, in reality, when you've got responsibilities, bills, it's just not that easy.
Hmm.
But for me, if I was looking back in 5 years and who I am at the moment, and again, I've got a good job, it's tough. Do I like it? Yes. Is it fulfilling me in who I want to be? No. Um, I want to be helping people. I want to have that YouTube channel. I want to be, as you say, like you, a life coach. I want to be inspiring people. So my advice to me, the future me is don't wait to go and
Yeah.
do that. I'm studying to be a personal trainer at the moment as well. I'm not really giving it a lot of my time at the moment. But where I want to be in 5 years, I would love to, as you say, coaching people, men, about mental health, movement, and just it just seems like an amazing life. Like I reckon being on my deathbed, looking back, and that's the person that I was means more to me than the person I am now. So advice is don't wait, do it.
Hmm.
Life is not stopping. And it's always going to be something tomorrow. I need to wait until X is paid and these bills are over and X, Y, and Z. You're going to be living off those excuses for a long time.
Yeah.
Stop it today. What's the worst that can happen? I said this to my dad, and my dad went, "Don't do that." But I said to him, "Look, I might just quit my job, sell my house, and buy a van, just live in it." And he's like, "Don't do that." I mean, yeah, but why is that a problem? Like, what's the worst that can happen? And I feel really bad making analogies like that when there are people who are struggling.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
Uh, but I'm very fortunate that if I were to just quit my job right now, email my boss and say I'm done, and then pack up everything that I needed and had a van and just pissed off somewhere, I'd have a fucking great life.
Yeah.
And I think that for me is you're always looking for a safety net, but you need to, and like you did, Stephen, is just you got to follow a passion and you got
You
to
do.
go, both feet
You
sometimes.
you have to, and I've not alluded from this. Like it took a lot for me to do it, to say that this is what I'm going to do fully, and I did the full commitment. I ran the coaching business as long as working for corporate at the same time. It was like I got to a point where I went, I'm done. I'm done. I want to go and do this full time. I want to see people succeed. I want to help people. I want to push them in the right directions to get them to who they can truly be. And that piece
Yeah,
of you define you. And it is because I want them to define themselves for the future, to make the best version of themselves, to get them to who they truly want to be and who they truly can be. And I think you saying, yeah, you could do everything and go live in a van. that's a dream. If that's your dream, you go do it. You might do it for 4 years and go, I want to buy a house now, but your life's changing. You've done loads of other things, and it's like, okay, you go do that again. Like, there's nothing wrong with that decision. If that decision makes you happy in that time, that's what's going to make you happy. That's going to make your life fulfilled. That's not going to give you anxiety. That's not going to give you problems all day long. Your bills are your bills. You always find ways to pay them. It doesn't matter. Like I've always said, that money will always come to you, and it will always find you when you need it the most to make your bills work. 100%. It always does, and you said before, like, spending time with your parents and things. Well, I sold all my house off and I sold everything off and a lot of different things. And I've moved back to my parents till I find my next house. And it's kind of like, I know that I can't buy this time again because, my dad's in his 70s, my mum's nearly 65. And it's like, I enjoy the little time. I might only be here 9 months, but I'm going to enjoy that because that's the real last time that I'm going to have that time with them, that I can cook them a tea, that I can do these things and do little jobs for them around the house that I'm here in the minute and be able to do, which is the most beautiful thing in the world. And, when we do go to our next place, it's going to be great. And it's just next part of the adventure. And that's what I look at it, but there's loads of different parts of the adventure. Right.
Like,
I've got
life's not the hamster wheel. It's just
No.
to
Yeah,
line
yeah,
up
yeah.
the podcast theme really well, is life's not the hamster wheel we've been fed.
Yeah.
And as you say, it's like spending time with the people that you care about and giving back to them. And again, like going back to time is the only thing we can ever create more of. Spending your time valuably, whether that be in your spare time with loved ones or at work. My goal is just to help people at some point, whether that yields me infinite wealth. Amazing. I would love that. I don't need it, but I just need enough, as you say, money just to pay the bills. And I would love to just help people with the rest of my life. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve.
Yeah. Grant, honestly, I really appreciate your honesty because all this stuff, men recognise but rarely hear out loud. And I think also, if you're listening, this sounds familiar, ask yourself one question, sort of, why am I running? Why are you running on the hamster wheel? And what's the one thing that you could change this week that would stop you from running on that hamster wheel? That's one of the big things. You don't need to quit your job. We've just, we've alluded to that really. You don't need to quit your job, but if you're not happy, don't do it. Find that different way. You don't have to break it down. You just need to stop pretending that you're fine with it because you're really not. And, I'm not saying, hey, go quit your life and do whatever you want. You got to make that conscious choice. But if you're fed up of, like you said, of being on the hamster wheel, you've got to find a ways to get yourself where you want to be. Right, I've got some would you rathers for you. So
Love it.
Let's have these because we always finish on them. We used to start on one and then do that, but we're doing it different now. We end on them and then So let's see. So would you rather fight a chicken every time you get in your car or explain crypto to your nan once a week?
I don't know. I love mansplaining to people, so probably crypto to my nan, but my word, I'd love to fight a chicken every time I got in my car. I'm going to go with my nan.
Right, you're going to go with your nan?
Yeah.
I don't understand crypto, so I'm going to fight a chicken every day because I can't explain something that I don't have an idea of. Absolutely
Stephen,
not.
I don't understand it either, but neither does my nan, so I can tell her anything.
Okay, would you rather win £1 million, but your worst enemy gets 10 million, or neither of you get anything at all?
Million, worst enemy gets 10 million. I don't have any grudges over anyone enough to deny them of success. I don't care how much I hate them. I wish everyone the best.
Same. I would be the same as you, Grant. Honestly, I'd give them, if I had £1 million and they had 10, I couldn't give two monkeys. I wouldn't be bothered. Now, would you rather be able to talk to animals or read minds?
Oh, talk to animals. That's an all day long. I am a huge animal lover. I love every single one of them. I'd love to be able to chat to them.
This is where my head went, right? So when I wrote that out the other day, I was like, I don't want to read people's minds. I don't need that. I want to read animals, right? Because you imagine walking down the street and there's a pigeon and it's doing what a pigeon does, right? And it's just like this, just having its walk and all that. It might just look at you and go, "What are you fucking looking at? I'm walking. Like, what's wrong with you?" And it'd be like, "But I'd love to hear it." Or there's a crow going, "What are you squawking about?" "Well, I'm just communicating to me mate over here. Like, do you want to shut up and leave us alone?" Like, it'd just be, or if I was walking my dog and going, "Right, we'll go get that ball," and like, all right, then we'll throw it, dickhead. Stop trying to like hide it, thinking that I'm thick. Do you know, like I'd love to be in it, or it must be mental if you could do it. I mean, I know the film Dr. Dolittle, but like it must be just class to just have that point of, in your mind.
I'd look mental. You would catch me just sitting in a field talking to sheep. I just love them all. I remember I went on a work thing once to an alpaca farm, and they called me the alpaca whisperer because I chat to animals like I chat to people.
Yeah.
People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I don't know. They might understand me, they might not, but I'm just gonna chat to them. I must sound mental. People are gonna listen to this and think you are fruitless, mate. I
Like
love
Stephen, help him
it.
out, get him checked in because he wants to speak to animals. I love it though, but like, yeah, I mean, I think it's dead funny. Like, absolutely. No, listen, Grant, thanks for being on. It's been an absolute blast. I imagine there's going to be loads of blokes get loads of different things out of this. And like I've said before, thanks guys for tuning in. Obviously, Grant's got his channel there. We'll put the links and descriptions in as low so you can see that. Obviously, look out for his future channel coming up. If you need help, reach out. There's always somebody going to try and help you in any shape, way, or form. If you can, just obviously hit the subscribe and obviously the like. That'll do. Boys get sad too, 100%. And yeah, just do that because we can just push this channel and get it out to everybody. Really, that's the big focus of it. That's what we're here for. I'm not bothered. We don't do it for the money. We just do it to try and raise awareness and people to help and just get them where they need to be. And yeah, that's the biggest thing. And as always, you define you guys and stay out yourselves and see you on the next one. See you, Grant.
Thank you, Stephen. Cheers.